made angel food cake this past week. I didn't have the pan that you're supposed to put it in.
You're fired.
Oh, I thought you really liked to play as the Goomba or whatever, and you're like, oh, things changed. You draw from a cigarette, just 7 years old.
United Healthcare. You don't even know.
Welcome to the Trash Cats Trash Cast. I'm Richard.
I'm Steven.
And today I am coming in hot, and I'm a little peeved off at
you seem a little perturbed.
Yeah, I got some I saw a video this week that reminded me of a scourge that I just forget all the time. Okay. I don't think of.
There's a lot of things to be scourging right now.
There's a lot of them. But the thing that what do you mean, Steven? What else is going on? What else should I be mad about?
Well, just those white vans, driven around by the SS troopers, just abducting thousands of people within the first 24 hours and fucking fighter jetting people out of the country and trying to get rid of civil births. Whatever the fuck.
That's
whatever.
That's whatever.
Just all those podcast re-recorded things.
Today the thing that I really want to discuss is flat earthers. And I just...
Fuck Wicksec.
Yeah, no fucking doubt on that. I don't understand. I don't...
You need me to steal, man? Bro, I can flat earth us all the way out of this podcast.
I forget about it all the time that's even like a thing. It's not in my realm of like any of the media I take in or like any of the people I talk to. Like no one else is talking about it because of course, and why would you?
Yeah, you mentioned this to me last night, and had you heard that defense before, or that theory before?
Which theory? I'm sorry?
So one of the big flat earth theories that is propagated by this loser named Wicksec online. Big dummy loser. We were talking about it a little bit. He's actually incredibly, if you know who he is, this will sound like I'm bullshitting, but he is incredibly intelligent. Like, I feel like he could have a mathematics degree.
He knows a lot about very specific things.
and a bit of general science, but yes. But he's propagated this theory, and other people, there's tons of other leading figures in the flat earth, they hate the globetards like ourselves.
Yeah.
But one of the big theories is that gravity is not real, and it's on a side effect of electrostaticity.
Yeah.
And that Earth curvature is related to how our brain perceives, or how our vision deals with distance and atmosphere. There are all these theories, but the electrostatic defense is very popular right now.
It's the craziest. Here's the thing that the main point that makes me mad.
Okay.
We could like softball all the way through this and then get to this point, but I think it's fair to get it right off the top. It's obviously not about we want to find the truth. It's we want to feel smarter than everyone else. We want to feel like we have this secret thing, or we know something that you don't. Thing that it's every time that you present them with okay, but here's a way to test that and prove that what you're saying is false, and they go, I don't believe it, or I don't believe you, or they'll make up a new map, or they'll make up a new thing, and it's like, okay, but like small things they can try to find a way to work around, but then you pay a bunch of people to go to Antarctica with you, and you have them live stream it.
For context, there's been two big flat earth bets between various factions online One was laser pointer level test, and there was a lot of money involved between these two groups betting on the results of the test. These scientists betting these flat Earth losers that they could prove their theory wrong. Science people won that, and then recently, this remaining group of the faction still in denial said, well, hey, if we could actually afford to go to Antarctica, we could prove flat Earth to be true, and a group of scientists paid for their trip and personally went with them to Antarctica and live streamed it all, and completely humiliated these freaks. But
proving multiple things by going down there too.
Yeah, but regardless, there's still some of the people there admitted they're wrong, but the crowds online are still in complete denial, all because of a chroma key issue. But they would have found one thing or another.
Yeah, that's the other one. Is that there's a chroma key issue, but even within that, it's like they're like, oh, it's a green screen, and you're like, okay, but if there's a green screen behind them, and his pocket set off the green screen, then you would see the mountains on his back, on his shirt, on his pocket. You would see what's projected on the green screen on his pocket.
They would have found something.
They're always going to find something. But that's the other one is like now the guys that went down there, even the ones that are like not fully turned or whatever, those guys are shunned by the community. They're like, oh, these guys they're paid and they're shills and they
clearly just were infiltrating the flat Earth movement for the last decade, just be a red herring.
And like 10 live streaming cameras and shit, and like they had drones that like went up. I forget how high he said they actually sent a drone up. I want to say he sent it up like it was the twice. Whatever the Burj, is it the Burj Khalifa? That's the tallest building in the world. It's like twice as tall as that. They sent up a drone, and they've
launched capsules into space like with camera, like so much. Yeah, they've been proven wrong, time and time again. The thing is like there's a large faction of mental illness in the supporters of flat Earth, and then there's a large portion of trolls. And then there's the other third is like passerbys, people that are conspiracy minded, but they might not even stick with it. But, there's always new people filtering in and out. And it's just a revolving door of wackos and scammers and fucking gooners, Now,
don't get me wrong.
But it is problematic.
Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I believe if that at the blanket statement idea of the government or somebody is hiding something from me, I believe that blanket statement is like, okay.
What do you mean?
That's the idea of conspiracy theory. Like, why do people get into conspiracy theories? And I think a lot of it comes from just the basic idea of like, whatever the lie you think it is, like not even counting like what the lie is, the belief is that someone, the government, it's them or the government or the Illuminati or whatever, they're hiding something from me. I'm not on the know, but I want to find out. I want to solve the mystery.
Mm-hmm. That's stupid as fuck.
It's so dumb. But the idea in general of like, I distrust what the government is telling me that everything is true. It's like, yeah, I get that idea of like, okay, it's not beyond my comprehension to think that like, oh yeah, it makes sense to believe that a government would lie to its people.
Yeah, obviously.
That part obviously makes sense.
In degrees, right? Like, I know we're on the same page, but like, people lie to each other. There are real like, there's no denial of a heinous actions governments have done or things they don't want their people to know or secrets to defense or, proprietary medicine, weapons, but the people that are like, they're trying to keep you down. It's the elites,
Yeah.
Like, that shit's politics, not conspiracy shit. It's like,
it's the ever moving goalpost of like, okay, well, it's the government that's, whether it's like the government wants to hide this from you. Okay, well, what does the government benefit from telling you that the Earth is flat or that the Earth is round? Like, what do they benefit from you if they're saying that it's round but it's actually flat?
There's so many answers to that. I could argue, like the people that have those theories, it's a fully fleshed out.
Well, yeah, you can come up with stuff, but like if you break stuff down, you're like, okay, well maybe it's not. It like you can go deeper into it of like a.
But you can't break it down.
Well,
because they can always build more.
Well,
like
yeah, they can always build more in the way of like, okay, well, if you've come, these were the three stipulations that I had, but you proved those to be wrong to me. But that means that it's not the government that's hiding it from us. It's, the Xenu overlords that are hiding it from the government and hiding it from all of us. And it's a simulation and it's this, or it's the, God and the devil and shit like that. And you're like, the limitless bullshit that can be
obfuscation.
Yeah. Just to be able to come up with stuff I don't know. It's like you're trying to convince yourself.
Can I fork us?
Yeah, please.
All right, here's my two questions. Okay, give me one sec, because I just forgot one of them.
Okay.
Question 1.
Okay.
Compared to other conspiracy nonsense, whether it's politics or like spiritual shit, like occult, Illuminati, whatever, where is your empathy level for flat earthers?
It's pretty low, and I can explain why.
Please do. I think you're wrong.
I would argue it's low because in contrast to the, it's the Illuminati, it's the alien overlords, it's the simulation thing. Like, there are steps you can take, easily to prove this.
Not easily.
Okay.
For an average person. I agree.
I would say there are a few steps you could take to critically think this out. To perform repeatable pattern experiments that would, if your goal was to like, I want to know the truth of this matter.
How?
What do you mean how? Like, if I want to know that the Earth is round, if that's is whether it's flat or round or what shape it is, if that's my goal, there are experiments that you can take to find that information.
How is what I'm asking.
Oh, how do you do it? Okay. I think the biggest one is you get you'd have to get a really awesome drone. Or a weather balloon, or have access to find something that can go up high enough in the air. I'm not saying that you need to do it. I mean, for that matter, you can take an international flight. Those usually cruise really high.
Most people don't have the money to do that, especially the people that are so stupid that they're that poor that they believe in flat Earth. They don't have the money to do that. And B, they have what we don't believe to be reasonable, because it's really not, but they have reasons in their head that curvature can exist to explain why we think that proves them wrong.
Right.
Like, my thing with flat earthers.
Then you have to go to that and you have to disprove that.
That's a hard thing to disprove. Out of all the conspiracy theories, flat earth is the one I'm the most empathetic to its stupid believers. Because I feel like it's something you can be tricked with. Like, it's simple. It's not easy to prove on your own. or without some means. It's debated so openly in our world to the point of like memeing it into existence. And I feel like there's a famous quote that I can't remember, but the only difference between us and a flat earther is 1 degree. Because it's like your whole world looks flat forever. If you were like philosophically, I feel like it's the easiest of the things to fall for, where other things are way easier to disprove. Because our whole world, your whole line of sight, the Earth maybe changes 1 degree. It's like impossible to ever see it. In our life, we'll never see with our own eyes definitive proof of the globe, right? Like, we're never going to space to see it. I have some empathy for these losers.
I'm all for the argument of like, it doesn't, whether or not it's a globe doesn't affect me in a way that's important to my life decisions. If that's the argument, I can't combat that. That's
What
true.
do you mean?
So if you're saying that, like, I'm not going to be a pilot. I'm not going to be like a international pilot. I'm not going to be doing
internet, all that shit, right?
It's like,
I know we both agree on this.
It's like I use the internet, but like I'm not like worried about how. Yeah, I'm not like worried about how it works. If it's one of those things of like these things, the how, the meat of the matter doesn't change the way that I live my life. It doesn't change the decisions that I'm going to make. I get that.
But their understanding of this is like, it is like a medieval, like core foundational lie.
Yeah.
They feel betrayed by the knowers, right? That this is their way of being kept as sheep. This is their way of wearing invisible chains, and by them knowing what is true, it's a sense of freedom and empowerment that we obviously don't have. Like, compared to something like the Illuminati or like a military conspiracy, like Alex Jones false flags or Chimera, like all that dumb shit, those things are so much easier to disprove. Like, I feel like it's like there's a false perception because of how dumb it actually is, that I feel like to the type of person who would believe in it, it is a way like stickier subject matter than like most other conspiracies.
I feel like I'm not sure if it's that I beg to differ on that.
You just love science.
I do. I think that it's important to me because it feels like
wrong.
It's wrong. But it feels like it's you're looking for fairies in the garden and ignoring the rest of the beautiful things that are there. You're looking for something that wasn't there and it doesn't need to be there. But I think my part of the problem then is like, but why do you think that? What was it that led you to believe that this is true?
That brings me back to my earlier point and my second question, that at least 2/3 of these people are very troubled. Like, this is a struggling group of people that are like
that's
battling.
That's its own separate situation.
But more so than other conspiracy theories. Much more, where I feel like the nature of it is easier. Like, I'm a fucking hateful person, okay? I'm scheming and plot. I've been writing a manifesto all week, right? I'm fueled by hate. But the flat earth community is very sad. They are so pathetic, and most of them are like in need of like real help, where this thing has destroyed their life and like taken them from their family And it's not a conspiracy that's motivated by deceptive people. This is something they've chosen to glom onto and let it destroy them. And that brings me to my second point, where, so we had peeling back the curtain, we had some talks earlier this week about how we wanted to approach this episode, because we have some prepared content on the way. I've been writing something, and then Trump's back in office. And by the way, for how crazy our the shit I wrote for the Donald Trump King episode, every single thing I wrote is completely been validated. Okay,
there's no question about it. This has been
a near full hostile takeover of our government. We are actually jetting people out of the country. All federal funding and grants has been shut down. Then they rescinded the memo, then said the recension of the memo was actually what they were taking. They've kicked out inspector generals, the watchdogs of our government agency. They're hiring complete psychos and fascists and all these various positions. We're threatening to go to war with our enemies, gutting social program. And it's been 72 hours, right? Shit is crazy. So my second question, or the meta, was that we don't want to just be a politics episode or podcast, because I can rage at these fucking garbage people forever, but we don't want to just be that. We like art and ideas and other shit. So in our conversation about it, we were trying to come up with things to distract from that a little bit, while also not being afraid to touch on it. All this to say, or to ask, why out of all things would you choose flat Earth? I found that a very interesting pick.
Why would I choose flat Earth?
Yeah, we've done almost. Oh, just because I got
a YouTube video served up to me, and it was
But this is watch. Was it the Dr. Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good video.
It was a good video. He talks hella shit. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. He's a very clever guy.
See, now you've gotten
200 episodes.
You've gotten in my head now. And
let's fuck it up. I'll argue for flat Earth.
You've touched the empathy part of my brain that said, these people are mentally ill, and
now, here's what you do.
Probably need help.
Now, here's what you do. Take a scalpel out of your pocket, right?
Just cut it out.
Jam it. Yeah, cut out that empathy, throw it away. Because who the fuck these people, dude? Fuck all these people. Fuck them.
It's the same argument with religion in the way of
no,
it wouldn't be a problem if these people didn't vote.
I disagree. I think flat Earth is a little unique, where comparatively, conspiracy theories about the Jews, about Illuminati, and maximally religious people, because they are objectively the worst people in our world. All those things are far, far more damaging, where a flat earther, their bullshit ideas are rarely going to affect our real world or have real world consequences or change their voting, or compared to other conspiracies.
Oh yeah, I'm not arguing that those aren't worse.
Sure. But I feel like they're pretty unconsequential overall.
Maybe what it really is I needed something that was a little unconsequential to
That's fair.
To rage about, because
it's fun too.
Yeah, it's something to not be absolutely truly furious.
But I felt like there was something to that, or something that must have been drawing you to it, because I feel like it's a slightly odd choice. I'm enjoying it.
I have people. Be careful how I phrase this.
Dumb people you love.
Yeah. Not even that. People somehow connected to people, a family of mine, young people in my life that have told them, oh, the earth is flat thing. And, since they were a young age. And
damn.
Yeah.
That's hard to break.
And to the point where, I have I had an 8-year-old asking me, like, is the earth flat? And I was like, no. And he was like, well, why? And I was like, I was explaining things to him, and he was like, but this person said that's not true. And they know this person, and they said that that's not true either, that it's not true. And it's like, okay, well, let's talk about the many ways. And I'm sitting here trying to do like 8th grade science, not 8th grade, but like, 8-year-old level science with a kid to explain to him that like, this is why they're wrong, while not trying to like cross that boundary into,
like people are dumb.
The person that lied to you is an idiot, and you shouldn't trust them anymore. It's like,
all right, I'll play devil's advocate for this too. Why not just say that?
Because
do they need them?
Not just that. If we'll cut this part, but if
it's just not worth it.
Yeah, not worth it.
Fair enough.
Just cut specifically that part.
Now I will say it's easier than it used to be to argue against, because one of the interesting ways to push back against conspiratorial thinking is through other conspiracies. Mm-hmm. In the sense like, oh, you don't believe the earth is round? Well then, what about the Illuminati? What about all the elite billionaires trying to take over the world? Don't they need money? Don't they want power? Why would billionaires with billions of dollars spend all this money to send rockets into space? Like you can like press on the other things they're already sympathetic to like prove why this thing they're thinking doesn't make any sense.
It has to be a globe, and all that. The outer space stuff has to be real, because that it confirms that Elon Musk is sending out, his shipments up to the aliens that are on the International Space Station to receive his uranium shipments
to Hillary. Yeah.
Yeah. That's where the space lasers are.
Yeah, it's funny when the people with the theories, like the ideas, are like contradict each other. Yeah. Where you're like, yeah.
The one that got me is, I think it was actually one of the people that went to Antarctica, and they came back and they got on a show with somebody else. They got on like a Zoom call, podcast or whatever, and they were talking about like, well, here's what I saw, and I'm presenting it to everyone here as this is what happened, and I don't know what to make of it per se, but like and of course everyone's like, oh, you're a shill, you're a liar, he's manipulating this and he made this up, like on like to his face on this show, and he is like, look, I'm just saying this is what I saw, and I have to try to like come to reality with that. He's like, I'm trying to, hoping for, we can all work together on this and like make a new map, and then they're all just like, fuck you, you're a lying piece of shit. And like, it's just like, that's the part of it where you're like, oh my God.
Dude, they're dug in, man.
Like, this guy wasn't even like fully out. He was just like, I saw this and it didn't make sense with our current model, so we're going to fudge it again and try to make it work, try to figure out like the crack in our system here that allowed us to work. And then there's the pastor that goes on, he's saying, oh, it was the devil did this. And he has the power to manipulate the sun and the weather and shit.
we've gone down this road before, but I'm very much struggling with the idea of loving people who believe harmful, bad shit.
Yeah, no, it's gets harder every day.
Because more and more, I'm leaning towards, I'm not sure how much I actually love these people.
Yeah, the
or I love them, but I clearly don't respect them.
Yeah,
so
the availability for
it?
empathy it's tough.
I feel like I'm a pretty big advocate of like being empathetic in general, but I don't really practice it, and I feel no need to much. Or I feel like it's important to be empathetic or like considerate to other people who are considerate.
Yeah,
right? Like this is like Hannibal rules, like eat the root. Like if we're it's not that bad to like disagree or like someone who has bad beliefs if they're considerate or like you can converse that or they're considerate of what you believe. But to the rude, there's just no need to give them any consideration.
Yeah, there's a. I mean, it was one of the things that I really did like actually about the Satanic Bible. I'm not sure if it actually said this specifically in there, but it's the thing that I took away from it of like, give everybody, treat everyone with equal respect upon meeting them, like an equal level of like, just respect that this person is also a person and we're all doing the shit together.
Presumed innocent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but upon them treating you poorly, I think the way they phrase it is the take on the Christian thing of like, don't treat others as you would want to be treated, treat others how they treat you. It's like, of course, on the first interaction, the first time you're meeting these people, anybody, there should be a grace period. And maybe it's even the second time, like maybe they're having a bad day that day and they just came off as rude or whatever. And whatever. We all have those days. You can be graceful with it. But then there comes the level of like, I can't respect you. You can still try to be empathetic to them, but not respect them. And then that empathy level just gets harder too.
Everyone's beautiful until they're ugly.
Yeah.
And then as the second they're ugly, they should be cut down, dismissed. I have, to be fair, I don't do it that often because I'm not a very combative person or like outspoken most of the time. I would much rather like ignore things. When you're out in the world, like I'm very protective and kind of like when you walk down the street in Cincinnati or like you go to any gas station, 99% of the time it's fine.
Yeah.
But there's a 1% chance you may have to fight to the death with a stranger.
Yeah.
And if you're around that long enough, you just kind of carry yourself that way in public, or at least especially like shit, poor, ugly places. Like that's just becomes your operating status. Cincinnati, Detroit, like we're used to that, right? And you try not to be that way all the time. And normally if someone's like rude, you just can't fight to the death on everything. Like you end up you can't let yourself get stepped on, because if you're going to be coming across this person, like you have to address it early. But if they're just passerbys, you almost are willing to take a certain amount of shit to avoid like being in fights every week.
Allow grace, a period of grace to alleviate, to de-escalate and alleviate the situation.
It's just not worth it.
Because it's not just, it's not even just for you. It's for the people around you. Like no one else, like,
It's for
get
everyone.
accosted at the gas station. No one else that's there wants to be there.
It's for everyone that might catch a stray from
Yeah.
this Uzi, bro. But here's something most of the time I can let it slide, but I'd say like a couple times a year, I can't hold it in.
Mm-hmm.
I always hold the door for people, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a person does not say thank you, I will go from holding the door to saying, fuck you. Bro, I can't handle it. Even if it's like a fucking, like, just a look in the eye, like they're acknowledging it, or like a tip of the head. Like, that's fine. I don't need like a thankful, like, grand gesture, but just like basic human shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
if someone just like brushes past and they're like fucking just like shit attitude when you've just held a door for them,
Yeah.
I will go from holding the door to saying fuck you, and I'm ready to like die right then and there. It's like twice
on the
a year.
spot.
It's like most of the time it's fine, but there's just like certain times where I'm like, you know what? I fucking hate you. I would like delete you out of the world instantly. Like, glad never once would I regret it. You're just so disgusting.
It's again too. There's levels to it, right? There's different ways of like, okay, if they were like, they're talking to someone else and like they're in like a mid conversation or something, and like it just kind of passes, like you're standing off to the side, they don't even see you there or something, maybe even like there's different levels to it. And then there's the ones that just they look you directly in the eye
with disdain.
Yeah.
Like,
of course you open the door for me. That's what you were here to do.
I've been in psychotic states and somebody holds a door for me and I would still say thank you. There's just, there's no way. Like, I understand having bad days and wanting to murder everyone. And even if I don't appreciate it, there's just like still, I don't know. I feel like there.
On those bad days, you almost appreciate it more. Yeah, it's like, this person was looking out for me. This person I don't know did something that they didn't have to do. No one has to hold the door open for you. I wouldn't be mad at someone who's ahead of me, even if they know, unless I'm like, directly behind them and they try to pull it shut real quick, some shit like that. But like,
yeah, but there's no expectation for people to hold the door for you.
Exactly.
But it's so like
that makes it
somebody does.
That's more of the reason that when someone does, it's like, oh, thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Here's
I would rather they spit on me than say nothing. Dude, it's like twice a year. I just like absolutely lose it.
Now here's one I don't need. I don't want. You don't need to see it. You don't need to say bless you when I sneeze.
Because it has the connotations. I don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I don't, it's whatever.
Yeah. If you say it, it's like, it's whatever. It's fine. You don't need to. I feel like there's some of that, like.
You ever replied with a quick, well, fuck your God? I've given that one a spin a couple times.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Doesn't go over too smoothly, but it's pretty fun.
I think it might have been my brother and me. They said instead of saying bless you, we should just say heard, Jeff.
Oh, that's good.
I like that.
The classic is you're so good looking from Seinfeld. Have you ever tried that?
No, I haven't.
I've tried that. Like to strangers, it's a real hit and miss.
Yeah, the ones that get it. The ones that don't are look at you like a maniac.
Yeah, they're ready to call the cops. But the people that do get it, you're like best friends, friend. You're like stranger buddies instantly. Like somebody you're so stranger buddies. Yeah, dude. I like stranger buddies. I like random people you've crossed paths with like more than once in life, but you don't know who they are.
Yeah,
I like that. That is like a cool. This world is trash, but there's someone else that, we got each other's back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
He
know.
gets that Seinfeld reference.
Yeah,
we're all
dude.
good. I don't know what else he's doing, but we're good. I don't know who he voted for, but
But if I was being mugged, I got one more stranger buddy that might just Batman in for me,
here's the twist. It is that guy that's mugging you.
That'd be a real mind fuck. Like, dude, no.
Yeah, that guy.
But you were so good looking.
That guy's seen Seinfeld. He grew up with cable. I can get him. He's got something in his pockets.
Let's. I feel like we got it out of our system a little bit. Mm-hmm. How was your week?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I trained tracked right over top of that. Week's been all right. I forget. I don't remember where was I at mental health wise the last time we actually recorded.
I just listened back to our last episode, and when we got to how your week was, and I said you've been near non-functionally crippled. Dude, I laughed so hard at my own stupid joke. I could not handle it.
I remember you saying that. That was good. It was. I'm doing better.
Good.
But yeah, the world just kind of sucks around it. So, it is what it is. But in light of me doing better, Steven, how about you? How's your week been?
Not good. Hanging in. I have a serious anger problem. Then I'm so much better at handling, but when I hit the certain point, I'm like a fucking animal, dude.
Yeah.
It's like pretty ugly.
Yeah.
But
I feel that there's a certain. I mean, I've questioned at least once in the past couple weeks, like. I'm not writing plans to do nothing. I'm not out here, doing crazy shit. But I've thought about to myself, is civil war the only way? Is it inevitable?
Here's the all the fucked up shit that is happening. It kind of doesn't matter in the sense that there is nothing to protest yet. There will be at some point, and if the Fuhrer keeps loading up the Fourth Reich, we may get to that level, like civil war. I don't. Everything's possible.
It's terrifying to think about, and it's like, because how does it work? How would that work in?
It's just
but
not shit to fight yet, because half of our fellow Americans want this.
Yeah.
You can't fight the majority, right? Like when shit changes, when power balances change, it is when the people making the decisions become the minority. Right now, until he bleeds off and betrays more and more supporters, right now there's nothing to fight. Like there's some shit happening in Texas, some protest stuff. Today they proposed a federal abortion ban, and they're 7 votes away from being able to pass it, to completely pass it, and that's going to be up for debate in the coming weeks. There are really the idea that being born in America may no longer make you an American, and that we're relying on a corrupt Supreme Court to uphold what is American anymore. All bets are off right now. There is it's like really fucking serious. We're talking about betraying our allies. We're stock market fucked. Like the most stupid decisions made so quickly that they flooded the zone with shit, and there's nothing to fight because right now it's still the majority.
You want to know the fucking worst part about all of it? My eggs are still expensive.
Yeah.
I'm pissed.
It's the war against breakfast, as they say.
Yep.
That's actually what.
Is that actually a quote?
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Twitter pages that track all the day one promises.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Like Ukraine war is already over, bro. That was day one. Before day one, he said when he was
that's right. Yeah. When he was elected
illegally.
It's a full betrayal of the American people.
Yeah, we're
just hanging out.
There's just nothing.
We're just out here catching strays.
Yeah, man. There really is nothing to do. Like, we talked about this a year ago. Like, what happens if the American people want fascism?
Yeah.
And we're approaching that.
Yep.
I think we're running fascism light.
Yeah.
We're gearing up.
Beta.
Yeah. They're testing the waters, see how it works on the hardware, and if the graphics card can handle it, then we're gonna squirt in some extra thermal paste and run it hot.
We just cut all federal funding and just see who notices, and then lie about it and say that was that actually wasn't us, and that was some website mismanagement, and
it's nuts. It's like actually. Nothing crazier has happened in our lives of American history.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get hung up on it all for that.
Yeah.
I'm writing manifestos.
Yeah.
If anyone needs good patriot content, what is it called? What's my good one by my favorite lawyer, Pisco the Pisser.
Pisco the Pisser.
The Weekly Patriot. Actual good stuff. No, I've been writing. There isn't anything to do with politics, so I'm really not too focused on it.
Mm-hmm.
I find it all interesting and disturbing, but there's no. It's like important to stay informed, but there's nowhere to go with it right now.
Yeah.
But philosophy stuff I've been writing. So I have 22 pages written on Charlie Hebdo, and it's been dragging on for like 6 months, and read the whole Quran, and I'm 3-4 pages into a manifesto about religion and fundamental moral axioms, and it's incredibly draining to try to write.
I absolutely imagine
things you believe in, and it might all be garbage and trash, but I feel like it's important. I write it for myself,
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
a lot of crossover with Satanism and like what is belief, what is mind and body. What is right and wrong, what is truth, and so much of it does cross over with like the current philosophical questions of politics right now.
You couldn't have given me a better segue. So I well, first I guess let me ask you to do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a number between 1 and 128.
Am I saying it out loud?
Yeah.
69.
Okay. Good call. Good choice.
It's a good number. 42069.
There's this book has pictures in it. So there's a picture on page 69 of a woman and a baby and a lamb. Because this chapter is called Lost Sheep.
What book?
Well, you tell me. The Karens were salty, but said Jesus low-key be vibing with thotties and creeps.
Oh,
but
no.
Jesus said, bruh, y'all be playing too much. Do you really think they're for the streets? All you see are red flags and you cancel so fast, but that's not how you're going to get peace. Consider our boy Sean. a little boy just spawned and he's saying I can't pet that, and he's saying, can I pet that dog?
Oh my God.
He don't need a Karen, but rather a real one who will protect him at all cost. Let the will of the top G live in your heart rent free, that you should have no enemies. For when the Delulu see clearly as you do, all will emote with the top G.
That's amazing. It's so gross and so amazing at the same time. You told me about this. What is this from?
This is The Gospel by Gen Z.
Man, what a fucking idiot wrote that.
It's pretty brutal. It's very funny. I gotta give it the credit of it. It's very funny. So I bought. I didn't buy this book. It was a Christmas gift from my father. As I had it on my Amazon wish list, and I had only a little bit of understanding of what it was. I thought it was more of a mocking a presentation of the Bible, and not to say that it's not a mockery, but
it's done with true intention of like drawing in children.
Yeah, exactly. It's done with the intention of like, hey, here's the word of the Lord.
Hey, kids. Sits on chair backwards.
Hey, fellow kids. Hey, fellow teens. So yeah, that's the, it's very funny. And I think I'm going to litter the podcast with
absolutely
Gen
Z Bible quotes.
Yeah. It's pretty good. There were some footnotes on this page too. It said Eminem been real quiet since this chapter dropped.
Jesus Christ. Bro, I saw a fucking YouTube comment today. It was about a genius composer, right? Top comment was W song. How fucking lazy. So funny. God damn it.
But was he wrong though?
He was not wrong. That's a win song. Damn, dude.
Yeah, that's good shit.
It is.
The slang is good. I can't even be mad. It's good. It's very funny.
It's
easy enough to interpret. It's
pretty
not
brain rot.
Yeah.
Easy.
It's good shit.
I have a cat. She's trying to eat gold leaf right now.
Oh, well, she has a taste for the finer things.
Apparently.
The fuck you doing with gold leaf? Album cover?
No, but that is a interesting thought. Sarah was painting something that has a golden halo in it, so she had some. Yeah, she's been picking up a little painting again. Hasn't done
nice.
What about you? You've been doing a little art.
I haven't done anything since last we spoke. I guess that was, what was that, Sunday, Saturday?
Yeah, it wasn't too long.
Yeah, I haven't picked it back up, but I plan to. I have it available to me and I haven't forgotten about it. I just been doing other shit.
Feel free to circle back. I'll drop my honors real quick though. Finally saw Furiosa.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It's good. It's not as good as Mad Max, but it is good. It's worth watching.
Okay.
And I want to call it Gris, but I believe you said it's pronounced Grease.
Yes.
What a beautiful game.
It was.
I only got 10 minutes in, and I immediately text Ricky that he needs to download it immediately, because if it's as beautiful as the first 10 minutes, then I know it's something special. And I turned it off so I could come back to it when I had a full evening.
Yeah. So I got about maybe 40 minutes to an hour into it, and it took some turns in a way that I was like, oh, this is going to be longer than I was expecting this to be. This is either going to be longer than I expect it to be, or it's going to be short enough that I'm far enough in that like I get the idea of like, yeah, you want to experience the whole thing in one sitting. It's very comfortable like that.
It's an emotionally heavy experience. It's like a it has the same feeling that Spirited Away gives me. Mm-hmm. It's like sad wonder.
Yeah. I didn't sob. I did get misty eyed.
Yeah.
It does that to you.
I'm really looking forward to, I'm waiting for the right mood. Some stuff like that when like when you get a taste of the feeling, you're like, you almost need to go into it when you're like the right vulnerable or the right prepared. Yeah. One of the two. And I'm not sure which, but I'm waiting for the right day.
I think you could probably a little easier than you expect to hop back into it. And if you only played like 10, 15 minutes of it, yeah, if you get a little bit further than that, I think it'll...
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was... I was maybe like 40 minutes in before I realized, fuck, I'm going to sit here. I think it wasn't even that long because there was a certain point of like, I was into it and I realized, oh, I should text Steven. And then like maybe 20 more minutes went by because I didn't want to stop playing.
Yeah, that's rad.
So, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but art, I don't know. I'm a little stalled out on my own stuff right now, but that's kind of been... I've stayed steady this last year, but it's been slow. So I don't feel high concern, but I'm trying to figure out a new approach to something, but I'm not sure what it is yet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't figured it out yet.
Heard
Buckethead concert.
Yeah.
On the horizon.
So here's the thing. Buckethead was in town up here in I think it was 2019. Because I was still at my old apartment and I was by myself up here and I almost went. I was single at the time and I was like, I wanted to go with somebody, but like I didn't know anyone up here that would be relatively interested in, like, would enjoy the show as much as I would. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to make someone else do it. And plus it was like I would have had to call off work and the whole thing. So I made all these excuses on why not to go. Then, of course, 2020 happens the next year. And then there was something that came out that was like, I don't know if it was like he was sick or something like that, or like people were talking about like he's probably not going to tour as much anymore. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'll never get to see him again. And I've never seen him live, but I've always wanted to. I'm done with concerts. No, I have not.
Oh, I thought you had before.
No, I've only seen like live, like videos and stuff like that. He incredible performer. He does crazy cool shit. Yeah. Very theatrical shows. But I said, I'm kind of burnt out on concerts. I don't like the idea of like having to fucking stand at a place, and don't like standing at concerts. It's so stupid. Yeah. I'm fully down chairs. To be in the, I'll sit in the back, if there's like, I think the last place I went that was like a House of Blues or one of those where there's like, a standing area in the middle and there's plenty of extra standing room, but you could sit in a chair off to the side or like further back with like a little table in front of you and like you're good. For like me going to like a Coheed show with my parents, that's great because we don't have to like stand amongst a bunch of sweaty people.
Yeah. Fucking drunks.
Trying to get a good spot so you could see, the stage or whatever. And it's like, no, I'm good. I'm good on that. But for Buckethead, all
drunk people should be spit on just like the Irish. And firefighters. And anyone wearing religious garb.
And Irish people.
Yeah, I said Irish.
Oh, you didn't say Irish? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Anyone eating a potato, even.
Oh, that was close. That was the. I knew you had it in there. I figured if you hadn't said it, you just forgot. Yeah, but Buckethead's one of the few people I for sure I want to see live. So we're gonna make that happen.
Yeah, I already like stuff like that. Like Buckethead isn't my favorite. Like you've always listened to, like I've listened to, like an album or two and like songs here and there, and like always super have appreciated the talent, but it just hasn't been my thing. There's like other guitar stuff I like, but I know this will be an amazing concert. Like some stuff just lends itself to live so much more than a recording too. Like you can find thousands of amazing guitarists, but to hear someone like that incredibly uniquely talented live is pretty special.
Mm-hmm. He, a good percentage of his gig is visual based too. So, I mean, you can listen to the albums and know that like this is a man with a chicken bucket on his head and an opera mask, but it's to see him doing it live is nuts.
Gnarly.
Yeah. He's a fucking maniac. And,
that's cool. Yeah, we got to figure it out. Sarah told me about it like 2 nights ago. I was like, oh, fuck. We need to figure it out.
Hell yeah.
I haven't been going to many concerts lately, but honestly, I don't really miss them. If I'm sober, I really don't give a fuck about most concerts.
That's super fair.
It's just like really, I've become mostly a shut-in.
Yeah. Yep. Full hermit.
And when I'm out of the house, I am normally in a very defensive posture, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
And concerts when I'm the only one sober are really like challenging. Mm-hmm. But if I like the music, like I'm good. But if it's
and you feel like you have to be the responsible one, you're making sure everyone else is cool while, being on defense mode.
That part doesn't bother me much because the times I am going, it's like people I feel comfortable with, but it's all the intoxicated strangers when I'm not intoxicated are very difficult to be around.
Yeah. Yo, that is the absolute truth.
It's just so bad.
The more I've been like just slowly getting soberer and like just drinking less and like I don't smoke weed anymore and like being around people when they are, like there's definitely the part of me, especially when it's like friends or people, you're like, I hope they're having a good time. Like I want them to be having a good time and enjoying themselves. But when it's
shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like they say dumb shit and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. That's on par. Or, especially people you don't know. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. I just
fucking drunken degenerate.
Yeah. I just don't understand at a concert. Everyone's fucking drunk, paying so much money for trash booze. Yeah. And I just don't understand because I'm not faulting anyone for wanting to be fucked up, but I'm looking at these people. I'm like, why aren't we all shooting heroin and fucking? Like, I don't understand like drinking shit booze and like being unpleasantly drunk. Like, why aren't we like doing real shit and like enjoying like why aren't we all fucking smoking crack and shooting dope and fucking at this concert right now? Like, I don't understand. You want to get like 4 drinks in and just be loud?
And be broke and loud?
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, why aren't we all nodding as the fucking guitarist lulls us into a nodded out state where we all die together? Like, that's what I want, dude. I don't want 4 drinks of Budweiser for $37. Yeah. So stupid. And we can't even smoke.
Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah. So here's the other thing I also learned. There's, when you show up to a show and you're not drinking, like I think the last show I went to, I brought money. I was planning on it was Coheed, and I was like, okay, I plan on getting merch or something. And I'll probably have a beer. And I think I did get a drink, but I realized like, okay, $9 for a can of beer
disgusting.
outrageous, and I will not be doing that anymore. But it just means you can buy more merch. If it's like money that you were planning on spending merch anyways, like when people say like, oh, I go to the casino and I bring this much money and that's how much I'm going to spend. It's like, yeah, you know, I feel that way with shit like that, like concerts and like festivals and shit. It's like, if I'm putting $50 in my pocket, like I'm going to spend this today.
I just don't understand t-shirts that cost more than $20. Sarah buys a piece of merch at every single concert she goes to. And I kind of appreciate that. Yeah. It's like, that's cool or whatever. But there are less than 10 times in my life I've ever paid more than $20 for a shirt. Yeah. And I don't think I'll ever do it again either. I hate it so much.
I agree with that. It's tough. It's really tough to justify.
Imagine spending $50 on a shirt when I could buy half a gram of heroin. I don't understand.
The math ain't mathin'.
The math ain't mathin'. I can't snort a t-shirt.
Well, you gotta try.
I have tried, okay? It doesn't work. I don't know. I do. I like some like designy art clothes, like not name brand. I hate designer clothes, but I like art stuff. But I just, it feels gross to spend money to look cool. I don't like it.
I think so. I'm getting them confused. Probably it was either Mastodon or Coheed. One of them does this thing where they do like, it's a different poster for every stop on the tour. They have like they hire an artist that does,
that's
or a few different artists that do these different things. And like, that's cool because it's like, okay, this is like a one of a kind thing that like they're only selling them here kind of thing. Or like some of them show up later, like on the website. Like if they have a bunch of extra, they'll get rid of them. But I think it's such a, you know, like those things are kind of cool.
Impressed.
I'm not a big poster person, but I like that idea of like, okay, it's not just something I can just go buy on the website or something like that. Like this is something you get from
$200 to get to the venue, and
yeah, it's true.
I don't know. It's fine. I think when it's expendable, like if that's what makes you happy, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
it's
the royal you.
Yeah, it's like depends on how much you really like the artist, and here's the other one. Merch shops always, you know, they're like closing up when, you know, we were walking out the door kind of thing. Like I want to, depending on the artist, let me see the show first, depend on how much I actually liked it or not, and then I'll buy a t-shirt. If they kicked ass and they did a good job, then, you know, I'll go buy a t-shirt.
I'll give them some
but
chump
instead
change.
you feel like you got to go get it before, you know, they shut everything down and you're trying to walk out the door. Pretty fucked up.
Yeah. I miss music. It just doesn't do it anymore. Too much rage. I've talked about it before. It's really, I can't really handle it. It's not, it doesn't offer relief anymore. I was never like a big fun music person. Like I it's normally like pretty like sorrowful for me, but it would offer relief, and I don't feel relief from it anymore. It's like overwhelming. Which is weird.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now too. It can be overwhelming. It can be like, it's just I think what I've kind of come to in my head is like, it's either I need to sort out my thoughts or I need to be able to like hear myself think. And music doesn't really, I mean, if you're really listening to music, it doesn't really allow you to do that. It takes it away, and like that's part of the intention of it.
Sure. There's an English version, but I like the French version. It's a cover by the band Placebo. That is a real hit and miss band for me, but they have some beautiful stuff. They have a song called Protect Me, And something to the effect of protect me from the things I want, because those are the things that hurt me type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had this, I drew it up. It's a drawing of a strawberry on a fishing hook. And I think it's a really cool design, but it feels a little like, it kind of, like it could be done in a more modern style, but the design feels like an old school tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost Sailor Jerry, whatever. I hate that loser. But it feels like an old school tattoo design. I think it looks cool, and it's an image I've gravitated towards more and more of, like, the things I want I can't always have because they'll hurt me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look right on my body. None of my tattoos fit with, I don't know, like concrete things. Like, I don't have very many literal tattoos where a fish hook does not feel organic enough to work with other things I have.
It's going to look out of place next to the dead horses.
I think so. But I want the strawberry. I don't know. Right now I'm fighting a little bit of infection on my belly, but it's not too bad. Got about maybe a square foot of black tattooed.
God damn.
Yeah, it might be a little less, but it's at least half of a square foot for sure. And then probably 2 more sessions for the first coat, and then probably 2 more for the second coat. But it's, dude, I've had so many other worst places, like doing my wrist to my forearm, blackout, one sitting, like for a first coat was really intense, really brutal. I've had my sternum, like all these other rough spot, my ribs on the other side, but sitting for an extended amount of time on low belly and ribs is like, it was the first time it's the first time in the hundreds of hours of tattooing I've had where I tapped out without saying when. That's a bad description. But normally I'm like, if I'm getting towards the end, or like the artist, normally it's like, yo, I can get to this point, or like, yo, I got 10 minutes left in me or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is like the first time I was ever like, yo, I'm done. Like, I got to that point where, like, if he would have wanted to, or like I could have kept pushing, but I was done. It was too much at that point.
And I know the guy doing it too. Like, he works fast. He does the.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
I have told Josh Pfeiffer at Skincraft, highly recommend. He doesn't like doing blackouts like I'm
You're making him do.
Yeah, he's like, dude, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't want to fucking do this. But I feel like he could charge like premium prices because he's got the perfect style to do it. He's like incredibly fast, heavy black work, traditional tattooer. I feel like he said, I mentioned it to him, and he's like, there's tons of people that specialize in it. And I'm like, yeah, but there's no one in Cincinnati. I'm sure there's people that do it, but I just don't know many people around here that specialize in like solid black work, where I feel like he could charge top dollar for it if he wanted.
Yeah, no, I mean, on top of that, like, so I went to him for my first and my only tattoo, and he's just the chillest dude.
He's a cool dude.
He made sure like what I wanted and confirmed multiple times, and was just very chill about the whole process. And
he's a professional.
Yeah, extremely. He the table side manner down to a T.
He's I don't want to say too much because I don't think he cared, but he was an art history professor who got in.
Yeah, you did tell me. I think he told me that. We got talking about that.
Yeah, he got into tattooing like later than a lot of people who do. But at this point, he's been doing it for a very long time. And he's just a very professional, cool dude. Yeah. But yeah, he tattoos hard as fuck. Harder than I think anyone I've been tattooed by, which is both great and just brutal for blackout work.
Mm-hmm. But I meant to tell you a little while ago. I totally forgot. I have had somebody compliment my tattoo, and they were like,
yeah.
"Where'd you get that done? It's like really clean and it looks really nice." And I was like, I told them they're not in this area, and I was like, "Oh yeah." Like, oh well, that's a bummer, but
I always feel bad for like tattoo art, because I've probably given, like, over my adult life, I've probably given like at least a couple hundred recommendations for like people who ask for like to a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe 2 or 3 have ever gone to them. You know what I mean? Where
yeah.
Like, God damn, I tried to like hook you up with something, and just no, it's like 1% of people ever follow through on even like getting the tattoo to begin with.
Right.
I still really want to learn, but for me, it feels like the graphic design field where like I just don't like making things for other people.
Yeah,
like,
you're going to be doing things that you don't want to do, and that's going to kill the fun.
It's just not, like, some artists are great at that and can work with it and like incorporate their own style, or like they get cool enough projects that it's worthwhile. But I hate commissions. I hate drawing someone else's shit. It's just like, if it's not from my mind, I just don't care. And I kind of wish I could, because I think I would have loved tattooing, like the art of tattooing, but the business or the job of tattooing, I just am so uninterested in.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to learn, because I think it'd be cool.
There's at least one person I follow on Instagram that uses this model of like, they like post their drawings on Instagram and they're like, who wants to buy it? Who wants this?
That's what big artists do. Like online, that's how it works. Like the people that are in high demand, that are like, not even just people at the top of the field, but it's any modern tattooer that gets their business from the internet. It is almost all like, I fit this niche and I sell what I want to do when I want to do. And it's like, unless you book them online 3 months in advance, like, good luck trying to get an appointment. Like, there's a bunch of like French and German and Italian artists. I would love to have the work on my body, but there's like this thing of all artists, even though like your dream tattoo artist, it's all like compromises. Like you can't have exactly what you want all the time. Like, tattoos aren't pictures. There's imperfections, and even if it is perfect, like, you're going to scar it or sunburn it, or something happens where like you have to kind of make sacrifices. And a while ago, I kind of realized like, I could hold out, especially when I was like junkie poor. It's like, I'm never going to get half of the tattoos I want if I'm trying to afford people I can't afford or aren't local or whatever. And I love the local artists that I've known for all these years now that have treated me amazingly well. But if I ever wanted like very specific things that are exotic or hard to get, it's like, well, I could live my whole life untattooed, like my body not how I want it to be, so I can get it to be 100% perfect, or I can like live my whole life with a few imperfections and feel how I want to. It's like that. I think people get caught up in having, like, with tattoos specifically, or I guess body modification in general, like having the perfect work. Like, they don't want to change something unless it's like the the perfect fantasy of how it could be or something.
Yeah, I for sure understand that, because that's how I was when I was younger. Of like, okay, the things that I wanted would have been,
Thousands and thousands.
Exactly. And it was like, okay, then I guess I'm never going to be able to afford that. I'm just not going to get tattooed until I kind of compromise, and I had an idea for a thing that was like, okay, that doesn't seem crazy. And then talking with you was like, oh no, this is very doable and approachable.
Yeah, where I feel like, of course, everyone wants the perfect work, but also what matters more, if you only care about it for the aesthetic, then I guess more power to you. But if you are like truly drawn to having it, there's probably emotional, or like, for lack of a better word, like spiritual, which I don't like the word, but there's like personal reasons for wanting to change your body's armor, right?
Right.
And
yeah.
if it only soothes that want or whatever because the art is exactly perfect, then you probably didn't need it to begin with. Or like,
yeah,
if it's just a want, it's a want. But if you have the emotional need to change your body, it's more important it's there than it's perfect.
Right. I concur with that.
I think there's I don't know where this crosses the line into like silly or just different stuff, but I feel like all body modification is getting at the same, for different reasons, but the same type of like human thing. And I feel like there's a lot of crossover, whether it's like sexual transition or like more extreme changes. Like I feel like we all deserve that to, as much as possible, have our outside facing self reflect what we want it to be inside.
Yeah.
And the more extreme things are, unfortunately, the more often it won't perfectly align, or there could be consequences. But I just highly, I don't know, like encourage people to who are wanting to change something to just do it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not speaking well.
No, I thought that was well put. I didn't have anything to add to it. But I do have this to say. Thanks again for listening, everyone.
Yeah,
I think we've did the job of making a podcast today.
It's done.
Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thanks, John.
Make sure to check out the show page at Trash Cats Trashcast on Instagram for news and art from the show. Check out Facebook for the memes.
If you're super bored, you can check out my trashy art on Instagram at Skyzix, SKYZACX. And yeah, super appreciate you guys. I don't know. I've said it all before. I do appreciate people listening, and big stuff. Even if I don't know. I feel like a lot of things are not as good as I'd like them to be, but I think they're important. I write them, or we talk about them, or like we try to do the things,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't know.
It's
worth doing.
It's perfectly normal to feel overwhelmed with a bunch of bullshit, and it's perfectly fine to check out for a little while. But I think it's an important reminder that we do need people that pay attention to things and are calling bullshit when necessary. So,
and investing in hollow point ammunition.
Yeah.
Wherever you can.
That's going to be all for us today. Stay classy, eat trashy.
Go fast, eat trash.